Welcome to this summary of Triggers by Marshall Goldsmith. Goldsmith is a renowned executive coach and author who has worked with some of the world's most successful leaders. In Triggers, he explores the concept of triggers and how they can impact our behavior and hinder our personal and professional growth. Goldsmith defines triggers as any stimulus that influences our behavior. Triggers can be internal, such as thoughts or emotions, or external, such as people, events, or environmental factors. The problem with triggers is that they often operate below our conscious awareness, leading us to behave in ways we may regret later. To overcome the negative impact of triggers, Goldsmith proposes a 6-step process that he calls the active questioning method. This method involves asking a series of questions that can help us to identify our triggers and choose more productive responses to them. The first step of the active questioning method is to stop. This involves taking a moment to pause and reflect before responding to a trigger. This can help us to avoid reacting impulsively and making poor choices. The second step is to look. This involves examining the trigger and its impact on us. We can ask ourselves questions like, what is happening, and why am I reacting this way? The third step is to listen. This involves being open to feedback and considering the perspectives of others. We can ask ourselves questions like, what are others saying about this situation, and how can I learn from their feedback? The fourth step is to learn. This involves using the insights gained from the first 3 steps to identify new and more productive ways of responding to triggers. We can ask ourselves questions like, what can I do differently, and how can I make a positive change? The fifth step is to leap. This involves taking action to implement the changes we have identified. We can ask ourselves questions like, what steps can I take to make these changes, and how can I hold myself accountable? The final step is to repeat. This involves continuing to use the active questioning method to identify and address new triggers as they arise. We can ask ourselves questions like, what have I learned from this experience, and how can I use this knowledge in the future? Overall, Goldsmith's Triggers offers valuable insights and practical strategies for managing our behavior in the face of challenging triggers. By using the active questioning method, we can become more mindful, more self-aware, and more in control of our responses. Thanks for watching this summary of Triggers by Marshall Goldsmith.